So I want to see it all. I don't want to just see one guy just take a step ahead and just stay that step ahead. You know, I want to see the tortoise come back, or the you know, as it were, the hare just kind of. I don't even know where I'm going with this metaphor anymore. I want to see something epic. Come on, let's do it.
Watch game 1 again.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I hope you're right. I hope we get to see one of these longer games, but I don't expect it. You can't expect it. You can only hope. You can only hope and maybe even pray a little bit that we'll see a ZVZ go past 11 or 12 minutes, but Outsider is a fun map. It's a ZVZ haven. So many ZVZs played, and yeah, both these guys have played have played more ZVZs on this map than any of the other maps in the pool. Calm's played 9 times, he's gone 6-3. Kwanro's played 6 times, 5-1. So both of them are really good on this map. Both of them have played there a lot. The only thing I really have to say about looking at the map, I hope once again that neither of them really goes for that 12 pool. I don't know if Calm's really gonna have the micro to do it again if Kwanro goes 9 pool. And but I did get a chance to go through. I actually went through every single game that Calm played on Outsider. He went through 9 of them. And actually went over pool 6 times out of those 9 games. So that is definitely his favorite build on this map. And if Kwanro looks at that, if Kwanro predicts that, I think if he goes for something like a 12 pool or something, he might be able to try and get a little bit of a build order advantage that way. That's about the only prediction I would or a prediction I would have to say about this map.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I guess something like a 12 pool is going to be a little bit safer again because you do have a ramp. And it's sort of short distances, but you're not guaranteed to scout your opponent right off. So an overpool or some early lane build, it's going to be hard to necessarily get to your opponent's base before they can get something up. So so I think a 12 pool is probably a good build on this map, anyways. But if Calm likes going for his overpools, then that would be a good way for Calm to take an advantage. I was thinking about what you guys were saying earlier about trying to get a mutalist battle. I think if it does go to a pretty even muta battle, I think Kwanro will actually have the advantage in that kind of situation, just because, like I was mentioning before, he's so good at having multitasking and multi-microing that what he'll do is, I think Kwanro will be a little bit better at doing muta ling and sending in the lings at the same time that he's microing mutas and that kind of thing, and that's how Kwanro will gain an advantage if it does end up being a pretty even muta-ling matchup. And that's how you get the edge in ZVZ. If you watch any of the games that Jaedong plays, that's how he's so good at ZVZ, is because he does muta-ling, he does his mutas, and then he's always setting in zerglings at the same time and catching a drone here and catching a drone there, or fighting with mutalists in the main and then setting in zerglings to the natural and stuff like that. So, if it goes something like that, I'll give the advantage to Kwanro, but we could end up in a situation where the economies dictate that it's all mutas, and then, you've got an even chance for Calm to take an advantage too. So, I don't know. That's just something I'm looking forward to. Seeing out of Kwanro, I guess.
Yeah, I don't even know anymore. This is, I just think this is going to be good in general. Whoa, I lost my stream there. Actually, oh crap. Actually, DejaVu, can you take this over? I gotta get my stream back.
I actually lost my stream is back. Yeah, I still got the girl doing her interview with the girl I don't recognize in any way, shape, or form. You know what I wish? At BlizzCon, they totally should have given us Thunder Sticks. That would have been so much fun, and we could have taken all those Thunder Sticks, gone over to the WoW arena, and just sat there bang the crap out of them every time they tried to do anything. I would have absolutely loved that, and they totally would have deserved it, and that would have made my BlizzCon even better. Somehow it would have made my BlizzCon even better if they gave me Thunder Sticks.
Maybe that's why they didn't give us Thunder Sticks, because they knew that you were gonna... I don't know. Well, and then probably because of the fact that, some of the tournament areas had people playing without, noise cancellation, so... But yeah, Thunder Sticks would have been great. It would have been great to... BlizzCon was one of the few times where you could see a huge crowd watching a StarCraft game outside of Korea, so, it would have made it a lot more exciting to have everyone beating Thunder Sticks and that kind of thing. Although the other guys might not have felt a little bit left out because I think there was a lot more CJ fans since there were so many other CJ players, so many CJ players there. But anyway, that was BlizzCon though, and I guess that's worth mentioning just because of the fact that I mentioned Kwanro beating Zero a lot lately, and before BlizzCon I wouldn't have thought of Zero as being a very big deal in ZVZ. He's gotten owned by Jaedong a couple times recently, and he just kind of seems to be a pushover against stronger players. But he owned the crap out of BlizzCon, and even played extremely well and took a couple games off of effort during the course of that tournament as well. So Zero actually a pretty strong competitor in Zerg versus Zerg, and Kwanro he's played him like 10 games recently or something like that, and won 7. So if that speaks anything for Kwanro, then there you go. But then again, Calm able to actually beat Effort, and actually able to beat Jaedong, although I think that might have been because Jaedong hadn't prepared for that match at all, because he was too busy preparing to battle Fantasy. I don't know, do you think that was a actual showing of Calm's skill to beat Jaedong, or was that just Jaedong having an off day?
Actually, I have a pretty in-depth view of why I think Jaedong's losing in ZVZ. Like you said about how he's so strong with sending in Zerglings and sending in Mutalisks, or in battling with his Mutalisks at the same time. I think what a lot of Zerg players are doing in ZVZ these days, actually we saw it in this last match, is they're staggering the times that their Mutalisks come out, and they just leave some of them back at home to deal with that kind of thing. I mean, how many times did we see Kwanro send in Zerglings, but they just we didn't even have to say anything about it because they got stomped all over by the Mutalisks that were popping up. So I definitely think that ZVZ is changing a little bit in the way that the Mutalisks are being utilized, because I think that they're obviously being used out in the field to pick off drones and do harassment and do whatever they can out in the field and obviously battle other mutas, but at the same time, they're all being left at home to deal with the Jaedong strategy, I guess, the Jaedonglings, I know there's manlots, but what would you even call that? Donglings or something like that? I don't even know. I don't want to think about it. But anyways, yeah. So I think we're about to start this game. Predictions on this map, just to go into it. I'm gonna go ahead and say Calm on this one. I know you guys have been leaning a little bit towards Kwanro because I guess he's just got epic ZVZ, and we all know that he's so aggressive, and he's just, when you think of aggression, you kind of got to think of ZVZ. But I definitely think that Calm has the better. I think he's just so strategic, and for syncing purposes, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, go. Okay, so I definitely think that Calm, though, is a better strategist than Kwanro is, and I think on this map, it's really going to let him shine.
Alright, so let's get you the start positions here real fast. We're going to have Calm at the 12 o'clock in green, and then we're going to have Kwanro at the 9 o'clock in purple. And, yeah, the only reason I actually was giving Kwanro an advantage on this map is because I thought that Calm was kind of predictable, and if he does do the overpool and Kwanro does go for 12 pool, if that is something that they've researched and Kwanro can come out ahead that way, that was really the only reason I gave Kwanro the edge in this map. Otherwise, I do think Calm should be able to take this if they get pretty even, and he can use some of his strategy and use some of his trickery, like hiding Zerglings so well against Jaedong and such things. He did do that quite well, and Kwanro's actually going to get a scouting advantage here. He's sending his Overlord to the correct position against Calm, and Calm unfortunately sending his Overlord to the bottom of the map. So he's going to have a little bit of an advantage there. Calm's not going to, if Calm goes for something like a 12 hatch or a 9 pool or something like that, Kwanro's going to know and be able to respond accordingly. So hopefully Calm doesn't try to do anything. We're just seeing him now. He's going for a 9 pool. Calm is, and Kwanro, we see the Overlord coming out. So we'll see whether he decides to go for an overbuild or if it's a 12 build. We'll see. I don't know yet which one he's going to go. The timing isn't quite there yet, but I do like Calm's changing it up a little bit, going with the 9 pool with gas. I'm going to try and put on some early pressure here.
Looks like we're seeing Calm go for gas just a little bit earlier, so he is actually going to have a build advantage because his pool is going to be down a little bit later, but not too much later. But yeah, Kwanro is going to scout that as well, so he's going to have the opportunity to maybe not produce as many lings drone up a little bit more if he thinks that he's not going to be able to get Zerglings into that base in time, because Calm is going to be able to put some stuff on the ramp pretty easily and block any Zerglings off. So even if Kwanro gets there with a lot of Zerglings, I think Calm's going to be able to hold off. But he is going to have speed, and if he just goes all in, it's possible that, because Calm might not be expecting this. He's not going to see those Lings until they're en route to his base, or maybe at his base, depending on... No, that Overlord... Yeah, okay, no, his second Overlord's going to be able to see them just coming into his base, basically. Excuse me, so he's not going to see him, basically, until it's too late. Pool is up now, though, so I'm assuming he's going to just start planting those Lings on his ramp, and he should have them out in time. So Calm with an early advantage here. Although it looks like Kwanro with 2 drones on gas, so he is going to try and get his econ up here and go for a longer game, but he's actually sending a lot of Zerglings towards Calm's base. I don't know if Calm has enough to stop this. He has not quite blocked off his ramp. What's going to happen? He's got 6 Zerglings right below, and Kwanro's going to try and bust in here. He's going to try and go off, and Calm is going to have to retreat back to his main.
Yeah, I think that was a mistake on Calm's part. For like in every essence of the build order advantage, Calm definitely had it. Now he's being forced to put down a Sunken Colony, and the Sunken Colony is actually up in good time, so those Zerglings are going to be fought off from Kwanro. However, I still have to give Calm the build order advantage. He got his Zerglings out a little bit later, which in ZVZ, as we all know, does give you the advantage. He's got a Sunken Colony for defense, which does set him back a little bit. However, his layer is up. He's mining more gas. His Spire is now going up. So when it comes down to it, when the Mutalisks start popping out, as long as Kwanro can't do as much damage as he wants to do at this point, I think Calm's just going to come out with it in the end. He does have a lot of Zerglings out, however, and neither player is going for that additional hatchery. I think Kwanro at this point in time, I think it would be in his best interest to either just flat out pump Zerglings or set up another hatchery, and actually do the exact same thing, just set up another hatchery and pump even more Zerglings than he would have off of one hatchery. Kwanro, I think the only thing that he can look forward to at this point is the fact that Calm had to waste a single drone on putting down that Sunken Colony and all those extra minerals. But like I said, in every essence of the idea, Calm definitely has the build order advantage, and as long as he can hold against these Zerglings, he should be absolutely fine.
We did see Kwanro also throwing down the Spire there, so it is going to be one hatch Spire from both these players. And Calm was actually able to sneak a couple of Zerglings also out of Kwanro's contain, and we'll see what he's able to do that. I don't know if he was actually able to work his way up the ramp or if he got stopped. It looked okay. There they are. They're going to try and work their way up the ramp. Kwanro's throwing down a second hatchery inside of his base as we speak, and Calm is really trying to put the pressure on Kwanro here. He's going to try and work up the ramp, and there's a hole there. He can actually work his way up there, but Kwanro just closes it just in time. Just barely. Kwanro closes it in time, and Calm unable to work his way up there. And now we're seeing the back and forth again. Now Calm is forced to retreat because Calm has has lesser Zerglings, but Calm actually working his way back around, going to go into Kwanro's base. But Kwanro is actually going to be able to work his way into Calm's base as well, I think, unless Calm is able to get more Zerglings on that ramp. I don't know if he is. And Kwanro actually turning around. I think if Kwanro just attacked, he would have had more Zerglings and been able to do a lot more damage to Calm. Although maybe he knew the Sunken Colony was there, so he decided to back off here. But Calm getting several kills here. I think he's got 2 drone kills here already. Maybe two drone kills, it looks like. And Scourge already out in the air for Kwanro. And we haven't seen Calm's base, so we don't know if there's Mutalisks. There's the Mutalisks out for Calm. So Calm went Mutalisks first. Kwanro went Scourge first with more Scourge. So we'll see what kind of effect that has on the game here. But neither player will do that much damage with their Zerglings. It was a very tense moment there between both these players, but it looks like not too much damage done on either.
Oh, that was brutal.
Yeah, Kwanro actually landing some Scourge, and that was really big. I was going to say earlier that Kwanro, I had noted, after he had gotten up Calm's ramp, he snuck in some drones, and Calm kind of overreacted and made too many Zerglings, whereas Kwanro was making a couple extra drones, so I think Kwanro actually had caught up or actually taken a little bit of an advantage at that point in time. But then those 2 Zerglings, that was horribly done by Kwanro, because 2 Zerglings should not kill 3 drones, I think he killed, in Kwanro's main, and that set him way back. But now, Kwanro with another hatchery, it's in a weird position, so he's not going to get a second gas off of it, but he is going to have that production advantage. And Kwanro coming in with Scourge, and Lings, and Mutas coming in, he's going to chase off the Mutas with his Scourge and Mutas. Lings going in, they're trying to take down that Sunken Colony. They're going to take it about halfway down, so the Sunken Colony does survive. It doesn't look like he got any drones either, and now the Muta battle is all that's left. It looks like Calm has some extra mutas though, and Kwanro is going to be forced to retreat, but more Scourge coming in to back up as well. He doesn't seem to land anymore though. Some of Calm's Scourge are pretty low. I don't know how many mutas he has. I think Kwanro has more mutas. I think Kwanro's going to come out ahead in the muta battle. Oh, and so, yes, he has 2 mutas to Calm's 1, and that 1 muta is almost dead.
Holy crap, I cannot believe that this is happening. Why are the build order winners in the early game just absolutely losing? I don't understand this. And I don't know why Kwanro is running away with those 2 mutas right now. I think they're both badly damaged. Yeah, the observer is showing us right now that they are both badly damaged. However, he still has 2 mutas to 1, and even if they are both at half health, that still means that there's 2 shots going off when 1 shot is going off for the opponent. I think the longer this game goes on, though, even though there are 2 hatcheries up for Kwanro, and that should technically give him an economic and production advantage, I still have to say that because of the amount of drones that are mining, and some Zerglings sneaking by here, picking off 1 drone, picking off a 2nd drone, and 2 of the Zerglings are still alive. They have the speed upgrade. However, what is going on here? I don't know why Calm thinks that it's a good idea to put down an evolution chamber right now. And wow, Calm is doing. I have to say, Calm's Mutalisk micro in this game has not been noteworthy, to say the least. Losing all of his Mutalisk to Scourge there, a Spore Colony going down now. However, it is not going to cover any of these mining drones. And I was going to say that Calm had the mining advantage, and that's why I said he was going to be put ahead the longer this game goes on. However, both of these players having some terrible time microing these Mutalisks right now. But regardless, I do have to say that Kwanro now has the advantage. He has air dominance, and as long as both these Scourge don't hit like they've been doing all game, I think that, and another one hits. I cannot believe this. Yeah, Kwanro with the 1 Mutalisk, I think he's gonna take it. There's only 2 mining drones for Calm right now, and 2 hatcheries with a whole bunch more mining drones. And I don't know what happened this game. Why do you guys think that, like, what is going on here? Why are all these Scourge hitting? Has there been like a patch since I've been gone where the Scourge just go faster than the mutas or something like that? Like, why do you think there's so many Scourge hitting in this game? Like, I'm actually curious your guys' opinion on this.
Oh, sunken might go down, sunken might go down, if it does, oh!
Second goes down, and that might be the end for Calm here, because Kwanro's still got that production advantage, and he's just going to be able, at this point, he can almost just pump Zerglings and take this down at this point. There's no Zerglings in the area for Calm, no Sunken Colony, and he's going to be in big trouble if Kwanro decides to transition into more of a Zergling build. Calm is trying to produce some Zerglings of his own, but I don't know if this is going to be enough. I think he might be already done here, and here comes Kwanro with 4 more Zerglings, picking up another drone, and there's GG from Calm. GG from Calm. Kwanro takes it. That production advantage is too much there at the end.
Okay, guys, I gotta know why did so many Scourge hit. Come on.
Deja?
Well, at the end there were really low Mutalisk numbers first of all, and then at the same time they're multitasking like madmen. With so few Mutalisk, they really needed to do the swoop in twice to hit each Scourge, and at the same time Kwanro is streaming in Zerglings, and Calm is also trying to defend that that Sunken Colony. I think it might have just been a case where it was just a little bit too much for the APM to be able to swoop in twice on each of those Scourge.
Well, yeah, you're right. Pretty poor anti-Scourge micro, just in general. And by the way, my roommate has gotten home, so I'm not gonna be able to talk as loud anymore. But yeah, that was really shocking that they were letting so many Scourge land. I mean, you know, like I said, you know, we've seen a lot of ZVZ lately. At the BlizzCon finals, it was 0 versus Effort. And I think 0 let 1 Scourge or 2 Scourge land on any of his mutas the entire best of 3. And that's the kind of, you know, stuff that you're supposed to see from championship ZVZ players, and that was really, really kind of poor. And I think Calm even had it a little bit. Well, actually, yeah, it's hard to say who did worse, to be completely honest. But it ended up working in Kwanro's favor, just because he was able to land those early Scourge, and that gave him that early advantage in the air battle, and that's what he ended up fighting to his victory. Although I think what really won it for Kwanro was his decision making as far as when he was going to build drones, because somehow he managed to maintain his economy, and even after losing some drones to those 2 Zerglings, he managed to sneak in a few more drones in between Mutas and Scourge and everything, and well, I guess that because he had a second hatchery, but he was able to get his drone count back up, and win in the long run through production advantage. And so I think that's really what I got to give to him. Although, yeah, I don't know, man. That was some poor micro in general.
Yeah, excuse me for being a little bit upset by, I was just so shocked. Like, usually when I see a ZVZ, especially in the MSL final, you would expect that, both of these players have the ability to just kill off endless numbers of Scourge with, you know, as long as you have more than 1 Mutalist, you should be able to fend off any number of Scourge with the proper micro. I mean, to some extent, obviously. I mean, there are limitations on that, but usually when you see a Zerg player in ZVZ go for Scourge first, that usually means that they're in a desperate situation and they want to pretty much, if they don't land the Scourge, then they're screwed. Yeah, and as we see here, there's 5 Mutalisks there, I think, and there are 2 Scourge incoming, and watch both of these land, and they just pick off a Mutalisk there, which is, in my opinion, that's a crippling blow right there. Losing, what is that, the deficit there is, I think, 75 minerals and 25 gas, the deficit between 1 Mutalisk and a pair of Scourge. So I'm completely, my mind is blown. In the first game, my mind was blown with how great the play was, and just, I mean, I'm absolutely shocked with that. I mean, I'm no pro to become, like, obviously, but, I mean, just look at the amount of Scourge, and I think that's what this replay is showing us. They keep showing the amount of Scourge that have landed, and I think probably about 90% of the Scourge that have been produced in this game landed and got some damage, if not an entire kill off. So, I don't know, I think what it came down to was...
Calm is actually picking off a fair amount of them. Only a few have landed at this point, I think.
Yeah,
Calm's doing pretty well, especially here.
Yeah,
but it was just enough. It was just enough.
Yeah, definitely just enough. So I don't know. I'm still a little bit shocked, but at the same time, I mean, you know, like DejaVu was saying, there was a lot of multitasking going on. So I do have to give these guys credit. It's just hopefully in the next game, anyways, I don't see so many Scourge land, anyways.
Those first couple Scourge, there's no real excuse for Calm at all. I was thinking more about the later ones where Scourge were hitting, and that could maybe be explained by the multitasking and the lack of Mulas. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Those first 2, that's just embarrassing for Calm. And if you think about where that led, if he had 1 more Mutalist there at the end, and if his 2 Mutalist versus Kwanro's 2 Mutalist, who knows? That could completely change the game right there if he's got Mutalist advantage there at the end. And that goes to show you, you know, every little thing in ZVZ counts, whether it's Zerglings, drones, or Mutalists, and that was just so poor by Calm. That was a critical.
Yeah, we're seeing some. I'm not even sure who these people are. Something about BlizzCon. Anyway, we're gonna see some lead-up games, some of the highlights. We're talking about those games, but let's see. That was pretty crazy, and I'm glad to see Kwanro getting back into it. And I think the other crucial point that I wanted to mention, by the way, was when Calm got a bunch of Zerglings and was chasing Kwanro back to his base, and Kwanro sealed his ramp with Zerglings at just the right moment and managed to get all the Zerglings on the ramp and stop Calm from getting in there. I think that was another crucial point because, you know, on the other hand, Calm had actually let Kwanro get in his base, and that was a distraction. He picked off a drone, I think. But Kwanro just getting those Zerglings out just in time to seal his ramp off, and then holding the ramp, even though Calm tried to break up it, microing well to hold his ramp as well. That, you know, if he'd lost any more drones at that point, he wouldn't have won the game. I don't think so. I don't know. But anyway, next map is Heartbreak Ridge. Should be a fun map to see what happens on there.
Yeah, for Heartbreak Ridge, I definitely think that any opener is pretty viable. even 12 hatch. I've seen a lot of 12 hatch go down on this map, so I definitely think that it's completely viable. And yeah, like you guys were saying about Kwanro holding that ramp, I do have to give him a lot of credit for that too. I know both of you guys have already commented on this, and I think DejaVu has actually commented on it twice already, but yeah, that was definitely some epic timing, some epic micro, and epic multitasking on Kwanro's part. Hopefully we can see some more of that in this game, actually. Yeah, Heartbreak Ridge, actually, I do want to go into a little bit about this map. This map, for some reason, produces just some of the craziest games. I mean, I've seen games, I know it's not Zerg related specifically, but just I saw a PvP the other day that had just like they were switching bases and stuff like that, and I've actually seen some interesting ZVZ strategies as well as a ton of multitasking. Like you guys were saying about the whole Jaedong thing, where and I'm gonna stop referring to him with the multitasking bit about sending Zerglings in for a harass. I've seen the majority of strategies like that utilized on this map extremely well. I mean, just because it's such a far distance, I don't think a lot of players expect that they need to leave Mutalisks back at home, because I don't think they expect Zerglings to be rushing in at any point in time, because there's just such a great distance that they might assume that Mutalisks may be the only viable strategy, which, I mean, technically it is because of the distances, but it also opens the option for creativity with Zergling play as well.
It's also very, very hard to know how many Zerglings are coming at you on this map, because you do have the upper set of ridges, the bottom set of ridges, and the middle road. So even if you are scouting one of them and you see 4 Zerglings coming on the top set of ridges, let's say, there easily could be 2 or 4 more coming from the bottom, and you can be caught by surprise. And yeah, that can definitely add to the whole Zergling thing. And maybe that's something that we'll see today, and see players split up their Zergling forces just to try and hide them, because of just the way the map is built. But it's a very, very long map for ground forces. Mutalisks really should be the dominating force here, especially as long as the players remember to leave a couple at home to defend. It really should be a Mutalisk on Mutalisk fight to really determine who wins, because mobility is going to be so important. You can abuse that cliff at the natural expansion if someone tries to take the natural and try and get some gas that way. That can be so easily abused. The only thing that you can really do as a defensive posture is you do have that very small gap between your main and your natural that you can easily defend that with. I don't even think it'll take maybe 3 Zerglings, maybe 4 Zerglings to block that hole at most. And you can put up a pretty good defensive wall there. But other than that, it's going to be pretty tough to play much of a defensive game on this map.
Yeah, it's because of that small choke outside of your main, it's easy to hold if you're doing a 1-base play, and that's why we might see maybe some kind of 12 hatch in base or 12 pool or something like that if they're going to go for that kind of a strategy, so you can hold up. You can hold off a little bit easier. Just put a few Zerglings on that choke. But I don't know. I mean, it's a good map for playing with an expansion too, and it could go either way. We see a little bit of everything on this map.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make a little bit of a prediction here, because I know I've seen quite a few ZVZs on this map. Obviously, ZVZ is just the trend these days. But I will go ahead and say that I think that the only harassment that's going to be done with the Lings is to stop mining, because what you can do on this map, and I've used this playing online and I've seen it used in pro games, is what you can do is you can stick your Zerglings outside, just kind of leave them in front of where your natural would be, and then as soon as the enemy's Zerglings come in, you can run up that ramp, and although it's not necessarily blocking the Zerglings from getting in, you can leave some on the inside of that tiny little choke, and then you can defend the top of the ramp if they do pursue your Zerglings, and if they do go for your drones, you can just send the ones that were in the top of the ramp, and you can just completely sandwich the other player's Zerglings, which leaves them in a completely crap position. Yeah, that's my favorite, next to ham, but you know, that's just me.
That's funny after I hang out with a guy who's online handle for 5 days. But yeah, I definitely think you're right in terms of the Zergling micro. It's gonna be interesting to see if how aggressive these two players decide to go with the ground route. don't know if what they're gonna, how aggressive they're gonna be able to go, because, like you guys said, you know, it's gonna be hard to take that choke. You have a lot of defensive options. But, yeah, I hope we get going here soon. But going back to commercials over and over again. You guys have anything else to say about this and this map? I mean, we're just going and going.
Actually, I want to comment on, we haven't said anything about these commercials, but they're absolutely frickin' ridiculous. There was a commercial with a guy waving around a chicken leg like it was a pistol. I thought that was frickin' hilarious. And, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and make a prediction. I'll bet either one of you guys $5 that there's gonna be a Hydralisk in this game.
I'll take that bet.
I'll take that bet.
I figured you would, but you gotta give me odds here. Give me like 3-1 or something like that. But
I'll give you.
Yeah, I don't think there's
2-1.
actually gonna. I don't actually think there's gonna be one. Get out of my face, guys! Why do you want my money so bad?
You know what? I actually saw a game the other day that had Hydralisks in it. It was a ZVZ game. It wasn't a pro game though. I was watching LZ Gamer. I don't know if you watched his stream at all, but he played a game the other day where he basically went. It was like he was playing against Terran. He went 12 hatch, pool, hatch, and then got sunks and spores, and then got a den and a second evo chamber and upgraded the crap out of a Hydralisk, and just went off 3 hatches and 2 bases, and built up about 4 control groups of Hydralisks, and then moved out. And I was like, wow, I've never seen anything like that before. And it actually worked. It worked pretty well.
How did that work?
So it's possible. It's possible.
Calm's gonna do that exact build this game. 100%.
Well, it was on Destination, which is kind of similar in many ways to Heartbreak Ridge, so we'll see. We'll see what he can pull.
Do you recognize the guy that she's interviewing? It looks like a pro gamer, but I don't recognize him off the top of my head.
I have no idea who that is.
I don't definitely
think he's. I don't think he's a pro StarCraft player. I don't recognize him.
Yeah, well, he's probably. I think he's at like puberty tech level right now. You can see from his the way he's macroed up that tiny little mustache. But anyways, I'm not gonna go into that.
This could be like members of like their fan clubs, like the players' fan club presidents or something, or I don't know, maybe players from their clan, or I don't know.
That'd be a pretty sweet way to get on TV.
She's hot, if that helps.
That's what I've been saying.
Yeah, did you guys notice that the size of this audience is actually extremely small? I mean, it's definitely not like a Jaedong Flash kind of final, but like this is a really small audience.
Yeah,
I don't think I don't have real big.
They haven't really shown many wide shots, so I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that neither of them really come into here with a lot of hype or anything, so they don't have a huge fan following, and just beating Jaedong in effort I don't think is quite enough for Calm to really gain the support of the rest of the crowd. He really needs to win this, maybe win something else to really get that following and be a draw in and of his own right.
You know what? We got a lot of time to kill, so I'm gonna ask you guys because I actually have some friends who are interested in this, and I know there's probably a lot of viewers watching right now that are probably really interested in this as well. Zerg seems to be dominating the scene, just kind of like Protoss did last season. With the Protoss maps, it's a little bit easier to tell why they were winning. Just a lot of the different ledges and the way the maps were built, and it was really the map pool that made Protoss dominate. Do you guys actually think that it's the players or the maps that are doing it for the Zerg race this season, or all of these seasons actually lately? What do you guys think it is?
You want to take this one first, Moletrap?
Sure. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the map stats a lot recently, but Outsider, I thought it was going to be Zerg favored, and it's been a little bit Zerg favored, but not really. So I don't know if you can really consider that to be too biased of a map. Let me check Heartbreak Ridge here. Hold on a second. Spelled it wrong.
Seeing a lot of PvPs on Heartbreak Ridge. I think that's supposed to be a Protoss favored map overall, but yeah, it's hard to pinpoint it really, because I think even in the MSL, you looked at Bisu didn't lose to a Zerg. You know, he lost to Iris, and then you look at I forget if it was the I don't know why I'm blanking on this, but I can't remember if it was the OSL MSL. But in one of them, they had the Bisu pretty much created the Dragon Group of Death and knocked out Jang being free right off the bat. They didn't even really get to participate, and then Cal fell to Jadon, so it was kind of like you lost two right off the bat in the group stages just because of they're four of them together, and then you lost one to Jadong, and the other two just sort of fell wherever. I think that one, whichever league that was, I think that was just kind of a luck-based, unfortunate thing because of Bisu almost. It happens.
Yeah, I'm looking at the maps right now, and according to the stats, none of the maps are really Zerg favored in any significant degree, just as far as winning percentage. In fact, a couple of them are a little bit anti-Zerg, if anything. So, just judging from that, it's not on the map pool. If I hadn't looked at the stats, I would have thought that it would actually be the map pool, just because Outsider seems to me like such a Zerg map. But we've seen the other races have used Outsider as well. So I don't know. Well, even the map stats aside, I think it is just the fact that we've got, Kwanro and Calm weren't playing really well before recently, and this last season they've really come out and been playing really strong StarCraft. We've got Effort coming out and dominating as well. Jadong is back in top form, and more importantly, and we're going to start here 4, 3, 2, 1. Getting started on Game 3 on Heartbreak Ridge. This series is tied up 1-1. So this could be, well, it's obviously going to be, but it's going to be a very important game as far as deciding how this series is going to go. And let's see, let's get the colors here. The yellow Zerg on the right-hand side of the map is going to be Calm, and that means that Kwanro is going to be on the left-hand side of the map, and he is going to be red. But yeah, also the kind of the Protoss players, the Protoss Dragons, have been a little bit failed this season. Bisu has not been playing as well as he could. Stork has been playing crap compared to his normal play style. A lot of the Terrans have kind of fallen off as well. So it just seems like there's more good Zerg players around than there used to be.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think another thing too is that they're just not giving Protoss players the opportunity to even sit in and play. I mean, even at the BlizzCon tournament, you noticed that nobody was even invited. No Protoss players were invited to that tournament, so maybe that has something to do with it. I have no idea. I initially thought that it was the map pool, but anyways, I'm going to get into this a little bit. Both players are scouting in the right direction, and both players are going for some kind of an overbuild. I have no idea exactly what they're going to be going for, obviously, because the Overlord is just now coming out. It looks like Calm's going for a 12-something because those are extra eggs. I hope to God he's not hacking and he's got some spawning pool off in a corner and some distant planet. I don't know. Both players are going for actually 12-something, and now we have Calm putting down his spawning pool and extractor, and it looks like Kwanro is going to go for the exact same thing, only a little bit later. That's a little bit strange. That I think they did it on the exact same number of drones, but somehow Calm got his down a little bit earlier. I don't know how to explain that. Maybe you guys can do it a little bit better than I can, but I'm pretty sure they did it on the exact same number, and it definitely does not give Kwanro any kind of economic advantage, I don't think, anyways.
I don't think there's any way to explain it. I think that somehow, someway, Kwanro was just a tiny bit off there, and Calm was able to do it. I'm actually sending out a drone here. He's actually going to go take his expansion. Actually, I think Kwanro might be doing the same thing. Yeah, both of them are going to take their expansion, so they're both going to do the overpool gas and then straight into expansion build. Actually, what's funny is that build was really popularized on Battle Royale in I think round 4 or something of the Pro League. Pretty much every single game was overpool and gas with an expansion hatchery, so it's kind of funny seeing that come into play here again on Heartbreak Ridge. But yeah, I have no idea why Kwanro could have possibly fell behind there, other than that he messed up. And the first 100 gas for Calm is going to go for his lair, and for Kwanro, it's got to be speed at this point. They stayed there long enough for the drones to make several extra trips there, so he has to be going for Zergling speed first. He's going to have to make good use of that 100 gas investment, because it's going to take. That means he's going to be behind in the Mutalisk tech. So he's absolutely going to have to do some sort of damage, get some sort of a contain, do something with these Zerglings. Otherwise, he's going to fall behind in the race to Mutalisk.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be, I think this is going to be the deciding game in more ways than one now, because now we're seeing mirror builds and very, very little difference in what they're going for here. So that means this game is going to be decided by skill and decisions and tactics, and really that means that the better player is going to come out with a lead here in this game, and we do see Kwanro going for that speed early. He's going to go in for an attack, and if he ends up being able to take out those Zerglings as they hatch, or whatever that is, if it's an Overlord, maybe it won't be a problem. But Calm is going to try and go ahead and save that egg. He's going to try and jump in with a Zergling at the same time, and it is 2 Zerglings, and he gets kind of a surround by coming out of the eggs and surrounding at the same time. Beautifully played by Calm. Calm getting a major, major advantage there, killing several Zerglings without taking almost any losses at all. So Kwanro just getting a scout in, basically, and now Kwanro, who invested so much in those Zerglings and getting speed earlier, hasn't really gained anything for it, because now Calm has speed as well, and more Zerglings.
Yeah, to put this into MMA terms, Kwanro pretty much just got a forearm smash in the face because he just lost all of his Zerglings, and actually that last one that was doing some additional scouting, potentially some harassment, but probably not, even got taken down by that single Zergling that was chasing him down. And now Kwanro has produced some more Zerglings. However, Calm can just defend with the Zerglings that he had already kept alive, so Calm's definitely got a huge advantage here. An engagement coming in here, and a giant arc coming in for Calm. Calm's going to come out ahead on this battle as well, so Calm has everything going right for him. So, but if the trend holds that the player with the better build order loses, then Calm's I guess behind at this point, because either player who comes out ahead in the build order seems to be losing. But anyways, I'm going to hope that fails here in this game. A little bit of a harassment coming in here for Kwanro, and I'm going to hope that Calm comes out ahead because he does have the better build order. And a lot of Zerglings coming in on the opposite end for Calm. He's going to try to take down the Sunken Colony. If he takes down the Sunken Colony, the Hatcher is going to be exposed, and Kwanro's not going to be able to do anything about it. He's going to be forced to produce some additional Zerglings with the larva that he's going to want to be producing Mutalisks from. So this is not looking good for Kwanro, sending back his Zerglings to defend, and this is not looking good at all. He's lost a drone already, and he's losing all these Zerglings to this pack of Zerglings for Calm. So Calm, although he's going to be losing all of these Zerglings here, he definitely came out ahead there. Mutalisks are on the way, so I think this game is about to come to an end. We'll see what these Mutalisks can do, and the additional Zerglings on the ground coming in for Calm as well.
Yeah, as long as Calm doesn't screw up his Viewless micro and let them go down to Scourge here, I think he's going to be fine to take this. There's nothing that Kwanro has to stop this. We're seeing a couple drones already falling here, and I don't know what's going to pop out of there, but I don't see how it could possibly be enough to save Kwanro. And yeah, this is just about done. I think Kwanro's staying in and just hoping and hoping. But he's still down here, even in the Mutalisk fight. He's still down like 4 Mutalisks to 2. And he's staying in and hoping that his reinforcements come in. Here comes the Scourge. Now, as long as Calm micros correctly, and I think he might have taken 1 hit there, but he did micro okay there. But he's got more reinforcements. He didn't have to waste eggs on extra Scourge or anything. And there, Calm takes another Scourge hit. So, I mean, if this keeps happening, if Calm keeps taking Scourge hits, Kwanro could work his way back into it. Here they come again. Here comes some more Scourge. And that time Calm micros correctly, and there's the GG from Kwanro real fast. And you know, it comes down quite simply. Kwanro decided to go for that 100 gas investment, his first 100 gas on speed. Wasn't able to do anything really with it, and that was pretty much the game right there.
Yeah, Kwanro just kind of overinvested with that speedling attack. Calm basically stalled him by running back and forth with the Zerglings there, and it worked. All he had to do was stall him for a few seconds, and Kwanro's Zerglings were a little bit behind, and then when the attack actually happened, from all the dancing back and forth, when Calm actually attacked, he attacked at the perfect moment, right when his other 2 Zerglings were about to pop out of that egg, and he attacked with superior numbers anyway, and had those 2 Zerglings coming from the inside of Kwanro's arc. So Kwanro turned south to attack Calm's Zerglings, and then the 2 Zerglings popped out behind them as well. So he had 4 Zerglings more, I think, and he had like a mini surround because those 2 coming from behind. And that was basically the game right there, because Kwanro lost all of his lanes and Calm lost like 3, and Calm just had a huge advantage for the whole rest of the game, as all 3 minutes of it, or all 4 minutes of the rest of the game.
Yeah, I think as far as my expectations for that game went, I'm gonna go ahead and I think there was about 1 or 2 Scourge that hit. I know I got a little bit upset about it the first time I saw so many Scourge hit, but regardless, I do have to say that was the most solid game thus far, and I really appreciated the fact that the better build order and the person with the better micro came out ahead of that game and ended up taking it in the end. Like I said, only 1 or 2 Scourge hit, and is this the this is the replay. They have different colors though, but
2 Scourge hit out of like a total of 6, so it's still not really a very good record as far as their micro goes.
Yeah, so I'm very happy about that. I'm extremely pleased. So yeah, anyways, it was a good game, solid. I mean, there's nothing really else that can be said. The better build order, the better micro, period. I mean, that's the way it should be technically. But unfortunately, I do have to say, I was definitely looking forward to seeing a Hydroden. DejaVu was sitting there saying, "Oh, what's he gonna do with this extra gas?" And I was like, "It's got to be a Hydroden. 100%, it's a Hydroden," and it just didn't happen. So
hey, now you owe me $5.
But
yeah, you owe me
get out of here.
now.
So I'm down $10, but whatever.
I expect to see coming in from Ontario. Yeah, you want to double down for Game 4? Hydralisk's gonna appear.
You know what? If we go, if you guys give me like 15-1, I'm gonna say Ultra.
Okay.
Alright. And Infested Terran.
Okay, sure. Good luck. I don't think they're playing on Holy World, so.
Yeah, I'll give you pretty good odds against that.
So, hey, yeah, you know, we were talking earlier about, right before the game started, we were talking about, whether it was Zerg favored maps or if it was, the Zerg players. So I was gonna throw out there that, there is not a lot of depth to the Protoss race right now. Ire is very slim pickings. It has the few generals, the 6 dragons, and then the second tier is Phrank, 2, Movie, and Backho is about it, and that's not very impressive at all. It's junk. And then whereas for Zerg, even if you put your top tier as Jaedong, Effort, and I guess you can throw Calm in there, or maybe yeah, pretty much Jaedong and Effort are the top tier. But then after that, you've got Effort and Zero. But you got Effort, Zero, you've got Kwanro, you've got Modest Steve and has played some good games. You've got Hero who's been playing well. You've got July Zerg is still around, and it's just a lot of depth to the Zerg race, and there's just nothing there for the Protoss at all. And it's been that way for a few seasons now, I think, where it's just been the Protoss, all of it has fallen on the 6, and then there's been no backup at all. So it's just it's almost like a war of attrition that the Zerg race is winning now.
The Terrans kind of have crap right now too, because they've got Flash, they've got Lita, and then like as a second tier they've got like
Fantasy,
Washin and Sky High, and that's pretty much it. Oh, and Iris too, I guess.
And Fantasy.
Oh yeah, Fantasy. Okay, they're not that bad. I don't know why I forgot about Fantasy. I forgot about Iris intentionally though.
And what, Boxer's like 20-0 in his past like 20 games, so he's doing pretty well, right? Oh no, I dreamt that last night. My bad.
Yeah. Sorry. I can see you just watched the group stage of the Heritage Tournament like 3 times in a row. That's all.
Or I was watching. I must have been watching games from like
over and over again.
Yeah.
About this map though that we're about to watch here, the next map is, correct me if I'm wrong here, but the next map is Byzantium 3, right?
You want to put money on it?
Correct.
Okay, no, get out of here. What? You need help, man. AA, or, GA, Gamblers Anonymous for you.
I need a job.
Your job can just be, betting against me, except for the one time you're gonna get so cocky, you're gonna be like, alright, I'll give you 100-1, and then there's just gonna be like, I don't even know, like Guardians and like a ZVZ or something like that, and I'm gonna take the bet, and you're just gonna owe me like hundreds of thousands of dollars. But, anyways, I do want to talk about this map a little bit, though, because out of all... What? Yeah, I don't even know. I was talking over there. I'm sorry. anyways, of all the maps, though, I do want to say that this is probably the one that I'm looking forward to the most, just because of the fact that you start on the low ground and there's a high ground above your base. We're going to see a lot of early link pressure, which I love to see. I did like that last game because it was very solid in the build order one and blah 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 blah, all that good stuff. But I do like seeing that early Ling pressure as well. I like Ling micro better than I like Muta micro, so yeah, I am looking forward to that on this map.
Yeah, this should be fun map. Kwanro hasn't played a ZVZ on this map yet. I mentioned that in the pre-game shot. I don't know if we're paying attention to it or not. Yeah, so there's no information on Kwanro. We have no idea what he likes to do unless you're sitting there in the practice room with him and Savior and Effort. You don't really know what he's going to be doing. And Calm has only played 2 games on it, so he's got 9 pull both times, gone for early rush. But that's kind of odd to see on a map like Byzantium, to see the 9 pull, just because it is 4-player. Yeah, you do have the reverse ramp. I have to say that I was surprised to see him go 9 pull both times, just because it does require some luck almost on the scouting. You have to go. You can't, if it's cross position. There's no way your 9 pull is going to get there in time. And other than that, you've got to scout the right directions first. So even though he's gone 9 pull a couple times, I expect both these guys to play more conservative for their opening builds.
Yeah, I'm thinking probably the same thing. Probably gonna see earlier pools is what I'm thinking, just because of the reverse ramp. It's so risky, especially you know, you gotta think about Kwanro here. He's gonna be in a really tough spot because this is do or die for him. I mean, Calm can try something a little risky, and we might see Calm in fact go for like a 12 hatch even, maybe, counting on the lack of scouting. But Kwanro really needs to win this game to stay alive in the series, so he's going to have to be able to play a little bit more conservatively. I wouldn't be surprised if he went with his aggressive instincts and went for an earlier pool, did kind of like before, where he went
5 pool again,
speed or something like that. Yeah, or 5 pool again. No one expects the 5 pool.
Or he could go for something like, I don't know, like a 14 Hydroden. I'm sorry, I just want to see it so bad.
Just keep praying.
I will, man, I will. The other thing, though, that I have to say about this map is that it's not a, it is also a 4-player map, which, I mean, with the reverse ramp, it leads to aggression, but the fact that it's a big 4-player map and there's a lot of pathing issues, well, not pathing issues, but there are a lot of things that you have to go around in the middle of the map, a lot of different ramps and things, that also should lean more towards a more defensive and economic game. So we're gonna have to see what both of these players open with. I mean, the maps that they have out these days, like as we saw on Heartbreak Ridge, both players did the exact same opening, so that is clearly the best build to do on that map. However, a map like Byzantium, like I said, there's the reverse ramp, which leads to aggression, and the fact that it's a big 4-player map with the pathing that should lead to a more defensive and economic game. It's completely up in the air. So it's maps like this that really make me look forward to really any kind of mirror matchup, because you really want to see what the difference in openings are going to be, because I can guarantee you that both these players are not going to go for the same opening on this map. So I absolutely have no idea. I can't predict anything. I don't know what openers they're going to do. If I was a Zerg player playing a ZVZ on this, I'd probably go for something safe, something kind of in the middle, something like a 12 pool, over pool, something like that, just to be safe, not really lean towards either side, you know, kind of be a pansy about it. But these are pro gamers. They have bigger balls than I do, so I have no idea what they're going to do.
I'm gonna laugh if both of them 12 pool just to prove you wrong. I think that would just be hilarious. I mean, I'm with you. I don't think they're gonna do the same thing. I think we're gonna see Kwanro go aggressive and Calm go conservative. I think that's, considering the way the it's 2-1 Calm, I think that's almost the way it has to go for Kwanro to win. I don't know if he's really gonna want to go to the late game again, because he needs a win, and he doesn't. I don't know if it's really a good idea for him to get to the point of the game where it's all very strategic, and it's going to come down to one move and you're done. I think he'd rather, with Mutalist and Zerglings, I think he'd rather stick to Zerglings at this point. and just try and take it as early as possible. That's even though yeah, I mean, I'm kind of waffling on this what's going to happen here in this game, but it is kind of a weird mix right here where you have a 4-player map, you have the reverse map, you have the reverse ramp, and then you have Kwanro on top of it, kind of in a down position. He's lost that 5-pool opening game, which could not have helped his psyche at all, and now he's down 2-1, so he's got to do something big here to end this to a 5th game, but yeah, I just hope this starts doing, to be honest.
I'm just, for some reason my gut is telling me that Kwanro's going to win this game, and not just because I want him to, just because I kind of feel like he really wants this MSL. I think he's got the fight, he's got the spunk, and we've seen him perform really well in positions where he's down. He does not, let it get to him. Even though I just realized, I was thinking about it, I think Kwanro might have even gone for that 5-pool the first game, for the same reason that Julyzer went 5-pool, the first game against Best to try and get in Calm's head, and so that kind of backfired, and so Calm really, must have been feeling confident for this series, having that early win and holding that 5-pool, but I don't know, I just feel like Kwanro is gonna pull it out of here somehow. I still think Kwanro has the better micro, and even though he had a lapse in micro for that one moment with those Zerglings against Calm, I don't know, I still think it is a better micro, and if it comes to a micro battle, he'll pull it off. And here's the game starting. Sorry, I missed the countdown, but they're just clicking the ally button, accept, and we're going to see the colors here in just a second because I missed them on the screen. But Kwanro is going to be the yellow Zerg player, it looks like, and he's going to be at the kind of 10 o'clock position. Red is going to be Calm, and he's going to be in the top right corner.
Yeah, so usually it's kind of funny when you go into a game, no matter what the matchup is, no matter who the players are, you always go in with some kind of predisposition as to who you think is going to win. Like if you have Fantasy in a game, or Jaedong in a game, or somebody who's just of such a high caliber, you just tend to lean towards them, no matter what the map, no matter what the matchup, or you just tend to lean towards them, or even if it is, if the map is favored towards a certain race, you lean towards them. You have something pushing you in one direction, and both these players, I mean, their styles just mix so well to make such an epic game. And right now what it comes down to is who are the gods smiling on right now? Who is going to take this game? And going into the build orders now, we see that Kwanro is opening with, I'm gonna say that's a 9-pool, and it looks like Calm is going for some kind of an overbuild. So it's 9-pool with gas. So like you guys were saying, yeah, that is the typical standard old school kind of aggressive Kwanro that we're used to seeing, and we're gonna have to see what it is that Calm goes for here. In my personal opinion, I would hope to see that Calm go for a 12 hatch, and that is exactly what he's doing. So this 9-pool opening, we're gonna have to see. I mean, the 9-pool does beat the 12 hatch typically. However, Calm is scouting in the right direction, so he may look to cancel that hatchery once he sees the early link pressure come on. But we've seen him fend it off before, so maybe that might be the case here as well. We're just gonna have to see.
Well, Kwanro's not going to get the scat out, so what it's going to be is he's going to have to take those Zerglings and start sending them cross position, send them across the map, and then as soon as his other Overlord figures it out, as soon as he figures it out, he's going to be able to go back around. Actually, as Calm's Overlord comes in, he might be able to detect straight from that and know where Calm is. Yeah, I think that's what he's getting. He's probably getting that information right about now. So we're going to see those Zerglings go straight for Calm. Calm's going to need his spawning pool down right now. I don't know if he's actually going to... I don't think he's going to cancel his hatchery for a while yet. He's going to try and get as much time out of that as possible. Just because, I mean, if he can fend off a 5-pool, who knows? He might be able to defend this as well. He's also throwing up a creep colony inside of his base, just in case this goes, he is unable to defend it because he isn't going to have Zerglings or anything. If he does end up losing this, he's going to have that creep colony in order to throw up a sunken and defend himself. He hasn't transitioned into a sunken yet. I think he really needs to do that pretty darn soon here. I think he just has to wait for the spawning pool to come out. And there's the canceled hatchery. Now he's retreating back to his main base. And he is going to be behind now because he was forced to cancel that hatchery, and he did lose all those minerals that he invested and all that time in that build order and everything. And now here come the Zerglings. Now it's a matter of he needs to protect that sunken colony. The Zerglings are getting right into the middle there, but they haven't really done any damage to the sunken colony yet. Actually, Kwanro ignoring the sunken colony, deciding to run away, not even going for the sunken colony. So he's just going to back off, and I think he's going to let Calm Calm back into this really easily here. Kwanro did not have the Zergling numbers or the micro really to surround that second colony and take it down. As you see, Calm now throwing down a layer as well. So he's going to be in a pretty good position here. My stream is getting broken here, so Moletrap, go take it away. Mine is freezing.
Yeah, we see Kwanro actually going in here with some Zerglings. He's got backup now. He goes in, he's going to take out some Zerglings, but I don't think he's going to do any major damage here. He's not going to be able to take any drones or anything like that. That sunken colony just chilling in the back is going to be a real big protecting asset for Calm there. But Kwanro, critically though, he made a bunch of Zerglings when he realized he wasn't going to be able to get in there and kill off that sunken colony. I think he knew that Calm's micro was going to be too good. Calm was not going to let him take out that sunken colony. He's going to be able to micro his drones. Kwanro switched over and again did kind of like he's been doing this whole series and doing a really good job of switching over to drones instead. And so he was able to get a few drones in. So I think he actually has, it's hard to, I didn't get a good count there, but I think he actually has a couple extra drones over Calm. Partly because Calm did have to spend a drone on, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think. 8 or 9 on minerals. So I think there were 7 for Calm. So he does have a little bit of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, so it's about even actually. And Calm actually has the extra hatchery now. So Calm actually does have the advantage. I thought for a minute that Kwanro might have snuck in a bit of an economic advantage, but it looks like he didn't after all, especially if he lets that hatchery go up.
Excuse me, my throat catching me just at the wrong moment there. Some Zergling pressure is coming in here now. My stream is going a little bit slow right now, but Kwanro is pushing with some Zerglings. However, some reinforcement Zerglings coming in for Calm at just the right moment, pushing Kwanro's Zerglings back up the ramp, and yeah, it looks like Calm's definitely in a really good position here. I do want to point out though that Calm was actually down, I think, 2 drones. Calm at one point, I gave it a count, he had 10 drones total, and we looked over at Kwanro's base and he had 12 drones total at the exact same moment. So yeah, he definitely had to reproduce and put some more drones up there. So I think right now though, with that second hatchery up earlier, I had to give it to Kwanro in the beginning, but now now that second hatchery is up, and I have to say that that's a really good play, especially the fact that the sunken colony was in such a good position to defend both hatcheries, the layer and the hatchery, that he did throw that down. But yeah, Mutalisks are now out in the air. Calm's got some Mutalisks, and it looks like Kwanro is going to try to harass this Overlord. If you can pick off this Overlord, it would be a little bit of a step above, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a difference. I think Kwanro has the advantage in the air right now, but it's not going to last very long whatsoever. And a creep colony is going down just now. I think it's going to turn into a sunken. And here we have the Mutalisk battle coming in. We're going to have to see who comes out ahead on this one. And it looks like Calm did come out ahead, and Kwanro is running, meeting up with some more reinforcement Mutalisks. So we're going to have to see a microfight is about to commence here, and some Scourge out in the air for Calm right now, getting caught up on these names, but it looks like Kwanro came out a little bit ahead. This is just dancing back and forth. Calm wants to pursue. July Zerg, jaw dropped in the audience, and we're going to have to see who comes out ahead still. I cannot say who's ahead at this point. It looks like Calm, but I just can't say, especially with these Scourge in the air now.
It is absolutely so close. Both players have been
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. That was my bad. Go ahead, sorry.
Both players are doing a pretty good job here microing with their Mutalisks, not really allowing the Scourge to land at all. And Calm did have the hatchery, the production advantage for a little bit here, but Kwanro got his second hatchery up now as well. And Kwanro completely screwing up. What the heck was that? Kwanro allowing 2 Scourge from Calm to hit. Completely big mistake by Kwanro, and that could absolutely be critical of, I mean, we saw it in the second game where one Mutalisk was all the difference it makes, and that was completely careless by Kwanro there, as I was just about to compliment him on being able to work his way back into it, getting the second hatchery up as well, and the production binge is no longer going to be there for Calm, but that was an absolutely big mistake by Kwanro, and Calm actually throwing up a third hatchery now. How often do you see that, a third hatchery in a ZVZ, getting his third hatchery at his expansion? He's going to be going for that. Going to try and get that second gas up and running. I think right now, it doesn't look like Kwanro is really seeing this at all. I don't think he has any Overlords in the area, not sending any Zerglings out. He really needs to scout this out ASAP. If this extractor gets up and going and Calm is allowed to mine from it for a little while, that could be big trouble for Kwanro. He's moving out his Mutalisks right now. He absolutely needs to figure out that this is coming and needs to move in and not allow this to happen. This is too big of a game changer if Calm is allowed to do this. Kwanro is coming in with his forces right now, and he's going to see what's going on in the main, but he needs to get to the natural, he needs to see what's going on. He's trying to pick off this Overlord, but that's not what he really needs right now. And Calm doing a good job picking off the Scourge out of there as well. And Kwanro still is not going to scout this out, and I think Kwanro is going to be in big trouble here coming up real soon.
I think Kwanro actually did send in a Zergling earlier and saw the hatchery morphing earlier, so he knows it's there, and I think this might be his attempt at a timing attack to try and come in here while Calm has spent that money on the extra hatchery to try and do some damage when he's short on mutas, but the hatchery is now up, and Calm has the home court advantage, and here's what I was talking about before. Kwanro sending in some Zerglings at the same time. If he can pick off these drones at the expansion here, he's going to pick off the... No, but at least he's drawing the mutas away. Is he going to go into the main? No, he's not going to use this advantage. He's just going to pick off an Overlord, which actually might be good. He's going to be able, if he can keep picking off Overlords, he can keep Calm's muta count down because he won't be able to build more mutas. And here he comes in now, having taken out that Overlord, knowing Calm cannot produce any additional forces right now, trying to go in, fighting back the Scourge. Oh, taking all the Scourge, not killing a single Scourge, maybe killing off one, but taking the Scourge. Calm eating some Scourge of his own though, so it's really hard to tell who has more mutas at this point. It looks like both of them have one control group, probably like 7 or 8 or something for each. It looks like it's so hard to tell who's the advantage. I think Calm does have the advantage. Calm comes out ahead with 3 or 4 mutalisks alive, and Kwanro with no mutalisks alive. Kwanro coming in desperately trying to fight with some Zerglings as well. But he just does not have enough, and Calm, even with a Zergling advantage, starting to move out. You can see on Kwanro's face the disappointment setting in as it slowly sets in that he's pretty sure he's lost this game, because now Calm with the second gas is just going to be able to overpower him with gas units, and he's not been able to sneak in any Zergling kills either. I mean, any drone kills with his Zerglings. So, yeah, this is pretty much Calm's game now, but Kwanro still, I mean, this is the finals. This is the MSL finals, and he is not going to give up until the... Oh, never mind. I was going to say he wasn't going to give up until the last, but he does. He realizes it's futile. GG! Calm is now the new MSL champion, ladies and gentlemen. MSL champion, Calm, and Kwanro takes the silver. Wow.
Yeah, holy crap. Calm, I gotta say, like I said in, I think Game 2, that Calm is just such an excellent strategist. He definitely took the advantage by putting down that hatchery. He knew that it was going to go to a little bit of a later game. He threw down the hatchery as soon as he figured that out, and then he took the advantage from then on, and he played it safe, threw down another hatchery rather than trying to go for the kill. Definitely well played indeed. So yeah, now we have our new MSL champion. Are you guys satisfied with the fact that that Calm is our new champion? I mean, he played extremely well. I wish I would have seen a little bit more of him leading up to this game, but I think with the way he's been playing and the way he played out this entire series alone, I'm actually pretty satisfied with the fact that he is now our MSL champion until next season.
I am actually very satisfied that Calm is the champion. You look at his road with Effort and Jaedong, deserves it. You look at his overall pro record, 55% in every single matchup, he deserves it. And even though he's been a pro league monster almost primarily for the last couple seasons, I mean, look at Lita. If Lita was to win a Star League, who would be surprised? Who would be upset about it in any way, shape, or form? I mean, Calm's almost in that same level where he's just dominated Pro League and done so. I think he was something like 34-10 at one point in the Pro League this season. He was just absolutely ridiculous, and he's just on that same level with Lita. But now, you've got to put him ahead of Lita at this point. He gets finally gets crowned and gets an MSL, and yeah, I'm actually really excited. I think that was actually a very fun series. I thought that was a great MSL. A lot of people were afraid that it was going to be kind of boring or everything, but this was definitely more entertaining than the OSL, where Jaedong just absolutely wrecked Yarnak. This was actually quite interesting, and we had several close games here.
Yeah, that was definitely an entertaining MSL finals. I'm a little bit disappointed. I was hoping, even if Kwanro lost, I was hoping it was going to be a 3-2 loss, and he was going to go out, putting up a good fight, and he almost pulled it out there, but Calm was just a little bit too quick on his feet, and they call him the Brain Zerg, and he did end up outsmarting Kwanro on a couple occasions, and led to the win. Real quick though, do you guys want to commentate Luxury versus Jaedong, which has just come on, or do you guys want to stop at this point?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. We can talk about we can keep talking about the MSL, but just in the meantime, until the action happens, Jaedong is the 9 o'clock Zerg, I'm pretty sure, and Luxury is the teal on the right side of the map at 3 o'clock. I'm pretty sure those are the colors, and someone in the stream can correct me if I'm wrong. Or someone in the chat room, I guess. But both of these guys going for pretty much mirror builds. I think they both went for 9 pools. I think Luxury may have gone for an overpool, I didn't notice. But time for some more ZVZ action. ZVZ is the matchup of the day. We got ZVZ semifinals, we got ZVZ OSL finals, we got ZVZ all over the BlizzCon tournament. Now we got some ZVZ in the World Cyber Games 3rd place match, and this is to determine who is going to go and take the 3rd spot to actually go to Chengdu to represent Korea.
I know there's a dragon somewhere on vent breathing into their microphone right now. I don't know. I guess I'll commentate a little bit. I just know that they both opened with a 9 pool order. I'm not really paying attention to this much at all. DejaVu, if you actually want to take this away, it's like 4 in the morning right now, so I don't think I'm going to be commentating the rest of this. It's probably 4 in the morning for you guys as well, but I actually didn't get that great of a sleep last night, so I think I'm actually going to sign off right now. It's been an excellent time casting with you guys. Enjoy the Jaedong versus Luxury. My prediction is I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Luxury is going to win with Hydralisk, so I'm going to leave you guys with that, and enjoy the rest of your night, guys.
Alright, see ya, Phrank. That was definitely fun casting with you and Moletrap and everything. But yeah, we're going into this, and it looked like I think both of them cross-canceled their Zerglings there inside of Luxury's base. So Luxury's going to be able to survive there. And this is actually, I think that the Luxury Jaedong matchup is one of those very, very interesting matchups in ZVZ. I almost liken it to tennis, with where I've said this before, but I almost liken Luxury to Andy Roddick, you know, where for a long time he was number 2 or number 3 in the world, but he would just lose to Roger Federer over and over again. He's like 4 and like 20 against Roger Federer or something like that, and like he's got massive winning records against everyone else. And it's like Luxury is the same way for ZVZ. He's like 2 and 8 versus Jaedong and 0 and like 8 versus in his last 8 against him, and he's got fantastic, ridiculous records against everyone else. And it's sort of like the demon for Luxury. Can he ever take down Jaedong? And this is going to be his chance. I don't know if he's really going to be able to. Jaedong snuck some more lings in here as Luxury is finally getting his fire up, and Jaedong's also getting an expansion hatchery up, and yeah, so Jaedong's gonna, I haven't been watching closely, but I think Jaedong's definitely in the lead right here, just from the way the game is looking at. I don't know, Moletrap, if you've been following this more closely than I have.
I've actually been chatting in the stream, chatting in the IRC a little bit, but just looking at the situation though, Jaedong does have 16 supply now to Luxury's 12, which means he probably has an extra drone since they had even Zerglings up until just a moment ago. And there's, yeah, so there's some, that's what it was, is some Scourge popping out, and actually Jaedong going for Scourge first, which is interesting, since he did have an advantage. I'm not sure why he decided to do that, hoping to land some lucky, I think he was hoping to get those Scourge in there before the munes popped and get some lucky hits on them right as they popped, but was not quite able to. Now he's dancing around a lot, trying to go for the new Muta, but it rejoins the group, so he's not able to get any free kills with those Scourge. He's probably going to produce Mutas from this point, and it looks like Jaedong actually has an expansion down now, and map control, whereas Luxury does not have that. So Luxury has a Muta advantage for the moment. He needs to go and attack right now and try and force Jaedong back a little bit, and maybe take an expansion of his own, or he's going to lose in the long run. But he is just, I think, a little bit too far behind. Jaedong has less Mutas here, but he's got a couple Scourge alongside, so if he can land a Scourge or two, he can still hold this off pretty well. But actually, no, I think the point is, I was going to say it's going to be a matter of time, but I think the threshold is already passed where Jaedong's production advantage is going to win out, and Jaedong going in for the attack here. Luxury falling back, having to firewall, he's falling back, bringing in some Scourge of his own, sacrificing Scourge across each other. Luxury really needs to land the Scourge, but Jaedong picks it off. Jaedong with less Mutas, though, actually managed, Jaedong had less Mutas for a moment, I thought, but it was just that they were so plumped up. He had more than Luxury. He takes him out. Luxury without an expansion, without any army, GG's, and Jaedong takes the first game, and you're exactly right about the comparison you made earlier. Luxury has always been very good at ZVZ, but Jaedong has just been the one hump that he's not been able to go over. So Yeah. So Jadon takes game 1.
Yeah, Jadon does take game 1. Gonna go on to game 2 is on Outsider, I think.
Well, actually, it looks like we're not going to be going on to game 2 because the guy who's running the stream for us is going to be going to bed. So, that's
Revo's going to bed. Okay.
It's still on Orange TV.
Well, then I guess we're casting for you, Barosh.
Yeah, he's streaming out to the SC2GG live account. Revo, you want to hold on for just the ceremony here while they're giving the prize to Calm here? Well, I guess people would watch that on Orange TV. There's nothing.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna hold up
about it. Anyway, but yeah, just to wrap up, it's been a lot of ZVZ action here, and props to Calm. He's definitely been. I think he definitely beat some better players going in. I mean, you've got to hand it to Kwanro though, beating Bisu and Iris on his way to MSL. Like, if he had just beaten Backhoe and I don't know who else, some other scrub that was in the MSL, and managed to get to the finals.
He had the Yarnock run in the OSL
road. Yeah, exactly. Then I wouldn't have considered a very honorable, I guess, way to get there. But he really deserved to be there. I think we had 2 players that really deserved to be there, and that's even though they're not like the top-notch players, and even though they're not the most respected players, they both deserve to be there, and they're both definitely high-class material. So. Good to see it. And there's the check being handed to Calm for, I didn't see how many won it was, but I can look up the conversion. Was it 30 million won?
50 million?
I think so. 50 million.
50 million. That's a lot of won. $40,000. So yeah, that's a lot of won. It's a lot of wulongs.
Just to comment on...
I was going to say also Phrank owes him that 1,337 American dollars.
That's right. so he gets a little bonus on top of that.
I can't forget that. Yeah, I was just going to comment on what you said about, I think after this, I think people are going to know Calm. I think people are going to know Calm really fast. They're going to give him a chance. It's kind of like, Calm has an opportunity now. It's kind of like how 4GG, when he won his MSL, he had an opportunity in the next season to try and impress people, and 4GG failed in that. Actually, last season took the MSL and failed in that. And mine did it previously too, but now Calm's gonna get that opportunity, The MSL is not the OSL, it's not the same prestige, but if he can finally break this streak of MSL winners failing, I think you have to give even more props to him, and I hope he does, I don't like seeing these Star League winners descend into mediocrity and obscurity. I'd rather see them, stay on top of the game and go towards the OSL, so that's my hope, that Calm actually does stay on top.
Yeah, I mean, anyone can win an MSL. It's the longevity that really means anything.
Just look at poor Bisu.
Well, Bisu came back and won another story not that long ago. But yeah, that is going to be the true test for both of these guys, is to see if they can come back and keep playing. And that's Kongmin, by the way, while we're all talking right now. Purple bow tie, I think, is it? Yeah, I think it was.
I think so. I think he was one of the commentators earlier. He was the one on the left during the commentating.
So it's hard to tell.
Why do they give them flowers and stuff? This is like the only quote-unquote sporting event where they give the winner flowers, unless it's like females competing.
Nah, in Korean culture, flowers are perfectly masculine.
Anyway, yeah, Revo wants to go to sleep, so I guess we can pretty much wrap it up. I don't have anything else to say personally. Some not really top-notch ZVZ games. We've seen better Zerg vs. Zerg play, but it was still very exciting and relatively close in all the games, and so it was fun to watch. Any last thoughts from you guys at all?
I hope you guys all enjoyed this cast. I know I had a lot of fun doing it. Thanks, Moletrap, for being here. Didn't get a chance to cast with you before, but that was a lot of fun. I think that's about it.
With you guys. Yeah, Sunday, you got any thoughts to throw in there since you've been hanging around this whole time? And Sunday is away from headphones, so I guess he misses his chance.
Wait, what?
Revo has something to say.
Okay.
Go for it.
I got something to say.
Sorry, Revo.
I was on the phone. Did you say?
We were just giving you a chance to give any final thoughts on the MSL before Revo turns off the stream.
I was just gonna say that I don't like Calm anymore. I was so bummed. That was a great series though. Good job casting. GG's. And I can't believe game 1, Calm won.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
No joke.
I don't think Kwanro ever recovered from that. I think psychologically he's like he lost a 5 pool versus a 12 hatch, and that was on his mind for the next 3 games, and he never really got it back together. That might be an explanation why he lost so many mutas to Scourge.
Yeah. And then in game 4 I saw Calm went with the 12 hatch and then the 9 pool from Kwanro, but he was already screwed. If he can't beat a 12 hatch with a 5 pool, then that 9 pool might be much.
Yeah.
I still don't get though how he held that off, but anyways, good casting.
I think we should end this here.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Revo,